stay with us to the very end. We applaud you. Thank you so much. We know that these last 2 days have been huge. And, we just really believe that the seeds that have been planted are really in an exciting place where God's going to use them. We wanted to finish off in I suppose, a creative way, because we know you guys have so much going on in your heads. And in some ways, that can be a bit overwhelming. And what do we do next? Like, how do we process that? What do we do and where do we start? So we wanted to just finish with I suppose for us, we're hoping it's a light and a creative, visual kind of thinking of what can we do next, God, with what it is that you have sown in each of us over these 2 days. And so I hope you brought a plant with you, or something that's living. Oh yes, this is exactly what I want you to do. I want you to put it up at the screen and show me your plants, or show me your pieces of fruit, or show me what it is that you chose to bring with you. And oh, Terry, what a lovely group of flowers you've got there. Oh, lovely. I can see some of it. It's so good to see some great friends. And I want you to keep holding them there, because our tech guy is actually screenshotting this. We're going to try to grab as much screenshot as we can. So even if you're not on the front screen, you're going to be he's going to be sliding over, and he's going to be actually taking it. So hold whatever it is that you brought up right at your screen. And just, again, be patient, because the photographer is at work and screenshotting as he goes. And as he's doing that, again, just be patient, hold up there, just give him the time to do what he needs to do.
Fruits.
How many screens? Because we've got 110, we've got a few screens to go here. So if you're that fourth screen that you just turn off because you know that no one's going to look, this is the time we're going to catch you.
Someone's got an
Oh, look, I love the orange and the red. And the bright pink ones.
The tulips.
Yes. There's a kiwi there. Oh, now we're getting to those bottom screens where people are not actually really here, but they pretend to be here. Oh, yeah, that's right. We've got you on camera now, Stephen Baxter. Just your name. We will find out where you are and who you are. All right. As he's finishing that up, I don't know if you actually thought about why you chose what you chose. I know for me, this is what I chose, and I got given this as a gift just recently, and it is such a beautiful plant. What I love about it is the fact that it's not just one flower, but it's flowers within flowers, and I'm so untechnical, of course, but you can see there's multiple little flowers all in the one bunch, and I just loved the picture of that. And so for me, every time I look at it, it just brings me so much joy. I wonder for you, why did you choose what you chose? Or did you just grab the first thing that came? Or maybe even then God can actually challenge us, is to go, have a look right now at what you chose, and just take a moment to go, God, what are you showing me about what I've chosen? What do you want me to see? And I don't know, even if you feel like you can actually put that in the chat. What are you seeing or feeling, or what is it that you visualize when you see the piece of fruit or the beautiful flower that's in front of you? We can't see the chat going up, but we have recorded the chat, so we're going to keep a record of some of the stuff that people are saying, because as you know, so many of the beautiful visuals that Jesus gave us, as well as the visuals in our world, are so rich that we know that even as we give you a few of our thoughts, God probably is giving you a whole lot of other thoughts. And each of one of them can take us down a path where it actually can help change our thinking and challenge us about what that means in our everyday life. So I don't know, this is what we didn't ask you to do, but maybe you've got used to it over the last 2 days. If there's any way that you've got some paper in front of you, I love those things that are coming through. We're going to take a record of those. But while that's happening, can you also grab a piece of paper, and can you make it into 6 spaces? Again, this is the school teacher in me. wants to be able to make sure that we capture this, not just at the end go, oh, what did you say about that? We're going to get you to do, make 6 spaces. And if you don't want to, just use the paper, but it's just a way to order our thoughts. And if you're anything like me right now, I like anything to help me order my thoughts because my mind is going crazy. I'm going to ask you in the very first one, or in one of them, I'm going to ask you to put the word seeds. As simple as that. And then we're going to have a look. I wonder what the seeds might teach us. We're going to come round to John.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. What's going on here?
Well, I actually have some seeds. Because when you were thinking intergenerationally, I'm not sure that there is a more biblical concept than there is to actually sow. And the sowing is such an important thing. And here we have today rocket. So if you've got any budding horticulturalists out there, then you're streets ahead of me, because all I know is that they're seeds. But I know that if I want to get the rocket that is on this and that can grow from this, then I need to do more than just stand over my pot with my snazzy little spade. I know that I actually, to get rocket, have to be intentional about sowing these seeds. And then also I've got to understand that my soil, if I want rocket, needs to have all of the nutrients that are required to grow rocket. Now I did look on the back of this page to, because it tells me a guide to the sowing times here and where in Australia is the best time to grow rocket. And that's really helpful there, because with rocket, you can grow it anywhere, any time of the year. And in fact, if you talk to Darren, he'll be able to give you some more detail about how to do that. And it's foolproof, because you put them in there, you cover them up. And once you've done that, you know you're going to get rocket. And we'll be able to eat it. And as I go from there, we've got seeds that will then sprout life. But if we look intergenerationally, the same process works for our intergenerational ministry, or growing that intergenerational life of our churches. We have to be intentional about putting in. We so often hear the passage, you reap what you sow. And we think of that as a bad thing. Oh, you're going to do something bad. You're going to reap what you sow. But actually that biblical concept is so important, because it talks about the intentionality of what we do. And for our intergenerational ministry, for that life to grow intergenerationally, we've got to be intentional about planting it in. We've also got to understand the soil that we put it in. You know, you go to Far North Queensland, you'll plant sugar cane, but it needs a different soil to the peanuts of Kingaroy. So understanding the soil of your church, your faith community, whatever that looks like. So I wonder for you today, what's your soil look like? What does the soil of your ministry look like? What does the context of where you are look like? What season is your faith community in? And how are you being intentional to plant the seeds of intergenerational ministry wherever you are today? How are you sowing? How are you sowing?
Oh, what I want you to do is just take a couple minutes, just yourself. And as he continues to sow, I want you to think about just for yourself. I wonder, what kind of seeds is he asking you to plant and grow and actually get ready? The kind of questions that John asked. So we're going to move over to repotting. You might want to put repotting in the second space. And actually, let's have a look at what we can learn.
Got some beautiful, beautiful pansies here. Love pansies. The only issue is they're just absolutely squished up against the edge of this pot. The roots are all the way crammed in here. It just really needs some more space to move and to grow and to really flourish. And sometimes when we think about our ministry, we might end up in the same kind of situation. We have stretched out as far as we can go, but it might be time to actually lift and look for somewhere to repot, somewhere to go so that these roots can stretch out and can be fruitful, so they can multiply and reach their full potential. And I wonder if there is something in your ministry, in your community, that needs repotting to increase the intergenerational potentials. I wonder if there's something you need to lift out to find another pot so it can spread and grow and reach its potential. I wonder, is God calling you to help repot something? I wonder if God is calling you to get your hands dirty and to help something find a place where it can flourish, where it has room to move and grow. I wonder what kind of pot it might need, what kind of situation you might need to repot into. I wonder what might be that first step.
Take some time to wonder yourself. And then it continues to repot. The third space we want to look at is pruning. So you might want to put pruning on the third space, and let's have a look at what we can learn from this space.
I don't know if you've ever done pruning with a sibling or a partner, and you discover that one of you would like to cut it right back and just chop it right back, and the other one of you just kind of wants just a little trim, not taking off too much, just a little trim. And there's different reasons why you prune. You can prune to create a new shape. The whole idea of topiary, or making a hedge to bring a new shape to something. You can also prune to encourage growth. You can cut off the dead or weaker branches that are taking nourishment from the plant, and then allow that nutrition to be used for the healthier part of the plant so that it grows and is fruitful, and it's healthy and it's strong. And so there's different reasons that you would prune. If you prune too hard or at the wrong time, there's a good chance you will kill the plant. So it's important to know your plant, to know what type of pruning is needed. I guess the other thing to say is if you don't wait long enough to know your plant and you just keep pruning and pruning and pruning, you end up with a bonsai, which is a stunted tree. The right amount of pruning brings a new shape, allows the healthy branches to bear much fruit, to grow new foliage, to be alive. So I wonder if there's things in your faith community that need pruning. Things that could be pruned because they're not producing fruit. Things that could be trimmed so that there's a new shape to what's happening. And I wonder if it's in need of just a trim or if it's actually in need of some hard pruning that will bring life. I wonder.
Take some time to wonder for yourself. Well, we move over to something which I think is very technical and only Darren can explain what grafting is all about.
Yes, in my family, we've got this really old Valencia tree that's been in our family, on our family property for generations. Great-grandfather planted that tree, so it's over 100 years old, and it's had its day. We've tried to prune it back to get growth, we've tried to fertilise it, we've tried everything, but the tree is finished. It's on its way out. But we love that tree. We love the 100-year-old fruit that's on that tree. And so what I've got here is just a small piece of this tree that's dying. And I have a brand new tree here that's just on 2 years old. It's a late lane navel. It's on citrange rootstock, which is a really strong, powerful, growing rootstock, disease resistant, and will promote the growth. And what I've done here, get a little close up if you can, is I've had to wound the tree, which means I've had to actually cut into the tree and open the bark back into the wood layer. And I've cut just a small scion here off this piece of 100-year-old Valencia. It's got to have a leaf, and inside that leaf, just on the scion, is potential. There's a bud, and new growth will come from that bud. A new branch will grow, a new tree will grow from that bud. So make sure you take a little bit of the old 100-year-old wood from the tree that's in that scion, and then you cut a T section into the branch of the new tree. You slide that scion into that T section and you wrap it with budding tape. The budding tape keeps out disease, keeps out moisture, keeps the air out while the new the wound heals and bonds to the rootstock. And so in about 2 years' time, I will have brand new 100-year-old Valencias on this rootstock. As it grows, I will prune back some of the late lane navel. I might keep some of that because I like it, but I'll prune these branches back to encourage the new bud to grow and take over and bring new life. And it means that I can enjoy both the late lane navel orange, but also our Pasco heritage, 100-year-old generational Valencia. And looking forward to more fruits. Like this is the last of our old tree fruit. It's not going to fruit anymore. I'm about to knock it out. And I'll plant the new one in and it will grow and produce fruit. I wonder what that means for your sphere of influence, the area where you work. What might need gently wounding to allow new growth? And then how do you wrap up that wound, repair that wound? What do you need to cut out? What do you need to graft in? What new life or what old life, heritage you need to keep and preserve and grow so it keeps fruiting? When it comes to intergenerational factors, what has worked well for your sphere of influence that you want to keep and preserve and grow? What do you need to cut back? What do you need to graft in? And more fruits will grow. Grafting is a great way to preserve and keep the old, but also to renew and make new again. What does that mean for you?
Take some time to wonder about that for you. We come to the fifth space on your paper, and we come to what does it mean to fertilise? I hope that the last 2 days has been a shot of fertiliser for you, because fertiliser is something that it's plant food. It enhances growth. It improves the way soil works, and I've just learned just recently it helps retain water, and it's really good for the roots. So the way I look at it, fertiliser is just good for every part of the plant. And even though these look rich and look really beautiful, they need that kind of shot of fertiliser. And I love the names. Dynamic Lifter. Thrive. Power Feed. When I look at all these things, I just think they just speak so richly to how important it is to take time to fertilise. Take time, and you need to put gloves on because it's a bit dangerous. Something in that. You need to realise that it can actually do too much, and I'm certainly guilty of that. But it's actually, it's literally just that kind of showering. And I've heard the expression the last 2 days, it's been just this gush of showering, getting it in, but just showering the plants, getting down into the place where it can really help every part of it, the soil, the plant. I've got some beautiful ones here. I've got some favourite ones here. They're so beautiful. And I want them to stay beautiful, and I want them to flourish. And it's about just dropping in and then water. Just allowing the water to help it all meld in. So many visuals about the water, the spirit, just bringing that richness into the flowers. It's like they're just kind of craving this beautiful sense of a thrive, a boost, a shot, you might say. I wonder what are some of the ways that you need to find ways to be fertilized. I wonder when you know where it's too much, or when you know whether you've just had enough, when it's time then to just use that and to kind of grow and flourish. I wonder if you know where to go to get the rich fertilizer that you need. Why don't you take some time to wonder that for yourself? So we come to the sixth space, and we've looked at 5 areas, and that's enough for us to ponder. But even that might seem overwhelming. So I want you to use this sixth space to go, okay, I look at these 5 things, and I look at all the things I might have written down, all the things that jumped out at me. Where do I start? Because we've just got to start somewhere. The worst thing we can do is just take all of this and put it in a file and just go, that was great, 2 days. So where do I start? Are you bold enough to ask that question to God right now? Where do I start? And use that sixth space to just write whatever it is that you know you need to do, the little steps that you need to start to bring about some of this change, or to bring about what it is that God's calling you to do. You just take 2 minutes to consider. As we look at the pictures and we're surrounded by the beauty, will you be open to letting God lead you, and where you're going to start with all this? Well, hopefully you've got some things to start with, and there's a whole lot going on there. And we get a chance to speak, and it's time for you to. So we're going to send you to chat rooms for the very last time of this conference. And we're going to say, between the 6 of you that come into a chat room, will you share? Because my guess is that you're all going to be at different spaces, and guess what? That is so okay. And the good thing is to be reminded that we're all at different places, and yet we can hear each other, we can learn from each other, and we can pray for each other. You're going to spend the next 15 minutes with a group of people. Will you share where you're at? Will you allow each other to pray for each other? And will you hear each other as we move on, almost like a covenant, to say, yes, this is where I'm going to start, and will you pray with me that I can do that? So we will see you very soon. Finally back together again. That's so good. As we come up, watch people coming on in. Hopefully that's been a really great space to at least just have one last chat with people. I think one of the wonderful things about conferences is that you actually are with... That's all right, but I know some are here, so I'm talking to some of them. That you're with like-minded people with same kind of questions, same kind of heart, some kind of passion, and we just really want to keep seeing connection. We don't want to miss that, and we want to pray that you guys keep connecting. As people come in, I wonder what the conversation has been. I wonder which one that you feel like you need to concentrate. We kind of wanted to bring it down to just a few thoughts, or just what would be your takeaway moment. So we've kind of started up here and we've got lots of stuff going on, but now what would it be if you were to put in the chat one thing you take away, one thing that you think of right now that you feel like has been impressed on your heart or has stayed with you over these last couple of days. What we're going to do is as we promised, we first started with a collaboration of thoughts and ideas and pictures, and we're going to screen share that for you and show you show everybody what some of you have done and the ways in which the collaboration has just been beautiful. And then I want to just kind of read some of the things, some of the moments, some of the thoughts that for you. Everyday discipleship, being intentional, mentors, intentionality. I need the chat screen, Bailey, thanks. As we look at these beautiful pictures, we look at discipleship is vital to intergenerational faith formation. I love that, not additional, but intentional. Relationships, and make sure you practice the Sabbath. An intentional lifestyle. Repotting ministry for fruitfulness. Meaningful relationships. Wow, think 7 generations ahead. Interesting. Make space for a Caesar salad. I love it. Leaning into God together. We can't take our kids on a journey that we're not on ourselves. Excellent, from Don McClaverty. I will take away the handbook. Well, I will take away the handbook does not include the children.
The children will leave now.
The children will leave now. Yes, they're scoping the garden first.
Yeah.
The longest table idea. Yeah, that's good. We're all smarties with all different colours. Organised and organic. Intentional, meaningful contributions, listening to each other, a way of life. Rest in God's completed work. Yes, I love that. Intentional small groups, worth trying. Atoms and molecules, we're coming down to just that little piece, that little one thing that we bring. Linking people together through mentoring. Great last moment thoughts. Beginnings are always related to endings. I love that. Deep. A way, a journey, and a way of being. Words are rich and they create pictures in our minds. It's about transformation through relationship. Intergen is not the goal, Christian formation is. I love that. I love the language that you're using, and I believe that when we start to change our language, we start to change our practice. We belong, then we believe, then we become. As we see these beautiful pictures come up that one of you has drawn in these last 2 days that represents intergenerational ministry for you. So beautiful, so powerful. The change has to come from within. Jesus has to do it for us. Intentionally connecting the whole congregation and overlooking differences. They're so real and important today, maybe more than ever. And these were just the ones that we were able to capture. We're so thankful for you actually choosing to engage and actually bring your thoughts, because it's so much richer when we share. I'm not looking after teens. I'm looking after 90-year-olds that just haven't got there yet. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And there's our collage of some of the things that we were able to capture. And we grabbed the words and we made it into a cross. And these were your words. So we're so thankful for the words that you've given, for the ways in which you've interacted, and hopefully all the aspects of the voices that you've heard. Our prayer continues to go that we will just continue this journey. But what does it mean to continue this journey? So let's have a look. We don't want it to stop here. We want to continue on. So what's coming up? Let's have a look at the next slide. Yes. So if we can take the chat down, Bailey, that's okay, so I can read it. That's awesome. So we want to just assure you, because we've got lots of questions, that all the sessions have been recorded. And we are going to do our best to get them out to you ASAP. We understand it's not going to happen tomorrow. We hope that you'll be patient with us. But watch out, we will send you a link, and we promise that. So for part of the cost, that is there for you to be able to not so much share out to everybody, but to use it to share with those that you do life with. And so, yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing how they're going to come out with a lot of work behind the scenes. What's next? So just to remind you that next year, Intergenerate Australia will be on 2001, but we haven't been able to secure a date yet because we're still working with venues and COVID, etc. But I know we've had lots of people saying, wow, we should do this online. We know that this has been awesome, but we also know it's not in our call. And our call is actually to be face-to-face, immersive, experiential. It's been easy actually to run this. In some ways, because we just put you into chat rooms. We put you into chat rooms and off you go. But we know that actually face-to-face and immersive is a whole nother level. And we actually believe that's the challenge of intergenerational ministry. And so we will record it, but we want to be face-to-face with whoever can be with us, because we believe that then we're going to really rub iron against iron and actually really work with all ages in the room, interacting immersively. And so watch out for that. But we will continue to go online. So every few months or so, we have a webinar coming up. And so we have Reverend Michael Drogue, which I'm really excited about, from the USA, who will be talking about connecting teens to the whole church. And so that is something that you can watch out for, and you're very welcome to join. There will be, you can see it on our website, the link, and you can just sign up if that works for you. It will be awesome, again, recorded and something you can see later on. But we want to encourage you to join the conversation. I put your own tribe because I love language and playing with it. That might mean your denomination, but make sure you stay connected. Make sure that, you know, within your tribe, and even then within other tribes. So, you know, the fact that what I love about this is that, I know it's not COVID safe, but we have been, is that we get to do life together across the generations, and we learn, across the denominations, and we learn a lot from each other. And so for me, that's just as important. Both of them are as important. So what ways could you do that? I mean, it's endless, and now we've got some connections already made. But there are also some great ministries out there that are doing some stuff that you can connect into. Let's have a look at some of them. And this is not all of them. So again, the chance for you, everything you've put in the chat, every way we can connect. We just want to make our website a place where links are valuable. And we've got these great ministries like Grow Ministries. There's Gen On, there's Intergen, there's Lifelong Faith Cohorts. There's probably more, but there are ways in which you can actually connect and have accountability. One of the other things we're going to do as Intergenerate with the community that is building here is that we're going to start our communities of practice, and we're offering a chance to coach and walk with you for 5 sessions. Next slide, please, Emma. So we're looking to actually say, if you would like to sign up, 5 times a year, we meet together, we have some coaching, some probing, some challenging, some prayer, some support, some ways in which we can actually just walk together. And myself, a coach, and some of the Intergenerate team are going to jump on in, some of the speakers that we've got connection with. So if you would like to sign up, the first one we're going to offer, the first cohort, we're going to offer for free. But then from that point, if we do get more people, then we're going to actually probably have to charge a little bit just for the general costs of time. But we really want to create communities of practice. And we don't want to take that away from the fact that there are community of practices happening. So if you're connected and you've got something, then please stay connected and keep on communicating together. What's next? Emma. Okay, mostly important. I want to give a very, very special thanks. We've had cohorts behind the scenes that have helped us, and Michael Stulley, Rachel Schilling and Rachel Sangster in particular have really played an incredibly key role, and that's just been such a blessing. And then we have got a tech guy, Bailey Gott, and we would have been lost without him. And he's our 20-something, you know, that's what, and it's just been awesome having him here. So, you know, there's just been so many people to thank, but those people in particular have helped us just make this happen. And so we are so thankful for them, and we want to let them know how precious they are to us. Well, I think we're coming to the end, where I just want to remind ourselves to stay connected and take this, whatever it is that God has kind of birthed in you, and keep growing it. And let's keep communicating via the website, via the Facebook, via other spaces. Let's just keep sharing and building each other up, because there is a movement happening, and it is taking ground, and it is growing, and it is, I believe, going to thrive. But we're all going to be a part of it. So come on, team. We're going to do say goodbye, because we can be together. Yeah. We pray, Lord, that in this time more of us can be together. Oh, that's all down. Here, you want to say goodbye? I've asked to actually pray for us all as we leave this space.
Thank you, Tammy. I didn't hear that correctly, but I'm assuming it's me who now needs to talk and pray. So I'll do that now. Somehow when the decision about who was going to pray at the end and say a blessing, they went, "Who's the Anglican?" And that meant that I'm doing it. So one of the things when I pray this prayer that I'm aware of, it's not that prayer that just ties it up at the end, it's the thing that connects us to where we're going. Because the prayer says that the God that we have known and celebrated in this last 2 days is the God who will be with us wherever we go from this place. So let me offer this prayer of blessing for this community gathered at this point of time. So, God who has called us is faithful. So let us go with joy. Let us forgive generously, love extravagantly, and live abundantly. And the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be among us and remain with us always. Amen.